And just when I said that we didn't have too much air coolers on the channel, I have got here one, and there's a couple of more up for review. Now, we're having Cooler Master Hyper 212 Black X Duo. And this means that there is no RGB. It means that has dual 120mm fan and direct contact. Quite interesting. I'm quite curious how this will actually perform. And I'm going to try to actually use the same case and try to see the difference in performance, because here it's a bit slimmer heating than we had past time, and that just might be quite interesting because to see the comparison between the thickness of the heatsink, the stacking of the fins, and of course the fans and the speeds and everything all together. Is it a single fan or a dual fan? It should really matter, honestly, because if you just go with a push combination, it's completely different than push-pull, right? So quickly through some specs, what we have here is compatibility for LGA 1700, 1200, 11.5X, and AMD AM5 and AM4. We're having dimensions 125 x 103 x 152. We have 4 heat pipes, direct contact, and aluminum fins on the heatsink, which I already stated this is going to be interesting just because of this. Dimensions of the fan 120 x 120 x 25. They're non-LED, and of course we have 2 of those. The speed goes from 690 to 2500 RPMs plus minus 10%. The airflow, now this is cool, 70.7 CFM, 3.61mm ratio is the air pressure at maximum, of course. Mean time before failure is 160,000 hours, and noise level is at 32.8 decibels. Now, if you remember a review that I did recently on the AAO where they stated it's 38 or 39 decibels, imagine how this should be quieter, right? So this should be good in terms of noise level. We're having 4-pin PWM connection and 2-year warranty. What's in the box? Now, the mounting mechanism is really straightforward. Now, when I say really straightforward, there's not too much accessories inside the box. So what you get is retention brackets for AMD and retention brackets for Intel, backplate for Intel, 2 screws to attach those retention brackets to the actual cooler, thermal paste, PWM splitter, and that is 4 brackets, well basically 2 for each fan to connect it, to attach it to the passive heatsink. So really straightforward. How you manage to actually install or place it on AMD processor, you use those retention brackets that are specifically designed for AM4, AM5, you attach it on the inner part of the block, or however you want to call it, and from the outer side or from the block side where it's direct contact, you can see from a close-up, you actually just put the 1 screw on each retention bracket. That is it. After that, you place thermal paste on the processor. We're having a Cooler Master fuse, which is kind of interesting with the density and everything. We'll get to that part in another video. And then what you have to do is remove the plastic cover from the bottom cold plate and basically attach it evenly, diagonally, all screws, so you have equal fixture on the CPU. That is it, guys. Well, basically it isn't. You have to place the fans, but that is the least thing that you need to do. So just place the brackets on the fans, attach the fans, and yeah, there's one thing that you have to take into consideration. So both fans are regular blade, which means that one will be facing, you'll be able to see the blades, and the one at the back is, well, basically you're just going to see the sticker, but since it's at the back, it really doesn't matter. But take consideration in that so you don't create some sort of a whirlpool of air between the heatsink, because both fans will blow the air into the heatsink. So one is regular and the other one is also regular, but it's facing towards the heatsink, which means the air needs to go like this. You'll see from a close-up. Quite simple. Now let's go through the benchmarks. I went a bit too far when we're talking about benchmarks in general, because I did something that you wouldn't be used to going with such a 4 heat pipe direct contact CPU tower cooler. I went with AMD Ryzen 9 7900 X3D. You already know everything about it from the past reviews and how it performs and what kind of scores we can expect. So we're going with AIDA 64 Extreme Edition. CPU went up to 93 degrees with the clock speed 4775 megahertz. GPU irrelevant, but 70 degrees. So right here in AIDA 64, I'm not surprised with the thermals or the clock speed. It's quite normal, and basically what happens next is a bit surprisingly positive. Cinnamon chart 23, the thermals start at 88 and then they just got fixed at 87. Clock speed goes up and down, 4950, 4975, constant, some sort of fluctuation up and down, and that's it. And now the Cinnabon scores. The first one, it starts at 25,933. Eventually it goes up, and it immediately the second run is 26,147. The highest one is quite shockingly good, 26,217. But in general, it scores 26,000. I would say an average of 100, or maybe a bit less, because we have two beneath 26,000. So I would say 26,080, and that's still good because we're having a slim heatsink. We're having, okay, we have a direct contact. That's something different compared to some others. But you have two fans, so in those terms it does perform quite good, and I do have to admit this was a solid run from Hyper 212 Black X Duo. A couple of months ago I did a review on the NZXT T120 air cooler, and it comes as a single fan option. It doesn't have a direct contact or anything similar to that with the heat pipes towards the processor. But what I did in that benchmark, I actually went with a single fan, since it comes originally like that, and I added additionally for additional scores, benchmarks, and to give you guys some idea. So in those terms, the thermals were better with push-pull combination on the heatsink, and the scores were slightly better as well. In those terms, this is why they went with the Hyper 212 Black X Duo, going with two fans, giving you a possibility for a better airflow and heat dissipation through the heatsink, and giving a possibility to actually perform quite nicely. Some additional parts are much more into the beneficial side, like the direct contact for the heat pipes, but that's it, guys. So this is quite surprisingly solid. I do have to say solid. So it will perform even better if you go with a lower grade mid-tier processor, and without a doubt it will cool it quite nicely. Of course, you have to have a proper case with a proper airflow going through it. That is also a key feature for air cooling. So you do have to take that also into consideration. If you're interested in checking out the Hyper 212 Black X Duo, the link is in the description below, so you could check out the price and all the details that I might have missed or skipped. But I honestly doubt that there is anything that I left behind. All in all, thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell. See you tomorrow in another one. Bye bye.